Brilliance Audio presents The Apartment by Danielle Steele, performed by Dan John Miller. Claire Kelly hurried up the stairs as best she could, carrying 2 bags of groceries, to the 4th-floor apartment she had lived in for 9 years, in Hell's Kitchen, in New York. She was wearing a short black cotton dress and sexy high-heeled sandals with ribbons that laced up to her knees. They were samples she had bought at a trade show in Italy the year before. It was a hot September day, the Tuesday after Labor Day, and it was her turn to buy the groceries for the 3 women she shared the apartment with. And whatever the weather, it was a hike up to the loft on the 4th floor. She had been living there since her 2nd year at Parsons School of Design when she was 19, and it was home to 4 of them now. Claire was a shoe designer for Arthur Adams, a line of ultra-conservative classic shoes. They were well-made but unexciting and stymied all her creative sense. Walter Adams, whose father had founded the company, staunchly believed that high-fashion shoes were a passing trend, and he discarded all her more innovative designs. As a result, Claire's workdays were a source of constant frustration. The business was hanging on but not growing, and Claire felt she could do so much more with it, if he'd let her. Walter resisted her every step of the way on every subject. She was sure that business and their profits would have improved if he listened to her. But Walter was 72 years old, believed in what they were doing, and did not believe in high-style shoes, no matter how fervently she begged him to try. Claire had no choice but to do what he wanted her to, if she wanted to keep her job. Her dream was to design the kind of sexy, fashionable shoes she liked to wear. But there was no chance of that at Arthur Adams, Inc. Walter hated change, much to Claire's chagrin. And as long as she stayed there, she knew she would be designing sensible, classic shoes forever. Even their flats were too conservative for her. Walter let her add a touch of whimsy to their summer sandals sometimes for their clients who went to the Hamptons, Newport, Rhode Island, or Palm Beach. His mantra was that their customer was wealthy, conservative, and older, and knew what to expect from the brand. And nothing Claire could say would change that. He didn't want to appeal to younger customers. He preferred to rely on their old ones. There was no arguing with Walter about it, and year after year there were no surprises in the merchandise they shipped. She was frustrated, but at least she had a job, and had been there for 4 years. Before that, she had worked for an inexpensive line whose shoes were fun but cheaply made, and the business had folded after 2 years. Arthur Adams was all about quality and traditional design, and as long as she followed directions, the brand and her job were secure. At 28, Claire would have loved to add at least a few exciting designs to the line and try something new. Walter wouldn't hear of it, and scolded her sternly when she tried to push, which she still did. She had never given up trying to add some real style to what she did. He had hired her because she was a good, solid, well-trained designer who knew how to create shoes that were comfortable to wear and easy to produce. They had them made in Italy at the same factory Walter's father had used, in a small town called Parabiago, close to Milan. Claire went there 3 or 4 times a year to discuss production with them. They were one of the most reliable, respected factories in Italy, and they produced several more exciting lines than theirs. Claire looked at them longingly whenever she was at the factory, and wondered if she'd ever have a chance to design shoes she loved. It was a dream she refused to give up. Her long, straight blonde hair hung damply on her neck by the time she reached the 4th floor in high heels. After 9 years, she was used to the climb and claimed that it kept her legs in shape. She had found the apartment by accident, by walking around the neighborhood. She had been living in Parsons's freshman dorm at the time, on 11th Street, and had wandered uptown through Chelsea and continued north into what had once been one of the worst areas of New York, but had slowly become gentrified. Since the 19th century, Hell's Kitchen had had a reputation for slums, tenements, gang fights, and murders among the Irish, Italian, and later Puerto Rican hoodlums who lived there, in a constant state of war. All of that was gone by the time Claire arrived from San Francisco to attend design school. It was the same school where her mother had studied interior design in her youth. It had been Claire's dream to attend Parsons and study fashion design. Despite their tight budget, her mother had saved every penny she could and made it possible for her to enroll and live in the dorm for her first year.